3 years ago, at the tender age of 24, I, Amy, embarked on a life-changing journey that began with a heartfelt proposal from my boyfriend, Ethan. Now 27, I live in blissful contentment, surrounded by the love of my devoted husband, our adorable child, and my supportive parents. However, the path to this happiness was fraught with challenges, particularly a painful rejection by Ethan's family, which I overcame through resilience and, eventually, a satisfying act of retribution. Ethan and I were colleagues at a prestigious corporation, a company renowned for its competitive hiring process. Our shared passion for movie watching brought us closer, transforming casual outings into a blossoming romance. Ethan's calm demeanor and kind-hearted nature made him a favorite among coworkers. His aversion to conflict and willingness to forgive others' mistakes endear him to me from the moment I joined the company. When he asked me out, my heart soared, and our daily interactions at work became the highlight of my life. Whenever I faltered at work, Ethan would listen patiently, offering comfort late into the night. It wasn't long before I knew I wanted to spend my life with him, supporting his dream of launching his own business. When Ethan proposed, I was overjoyed, accepting without hesitation. That weekend, we visited my parents to share our news. Ethan's warmth and charm won them over instantly. He bonded with my father over drinks, and their laughter filled the house. My parents joyfully blessed our union, and watching Ethan engage so naturally with them, I felt immensely fortunate. The following weekend, we planned to visit Ethan's family. I knew little about them, as Ethan lived independently and rarely spoke of his relatives. The night before, during a phone call, he mentioned that his parents might seem a bit odd, but urged me not to worry. Though his words sparked a flicker of unease, I brushed it aside, eager to meet them. The next morning, nerves fluttered in my chest as I met Ethan at the train station. We traveled to his family's home, a grand mansion resembling a castle, its sprawling gardens and towering facade leaving me awestruck. Ethan's gentle smile and reassuring words, "Are you nervous? It's okay, let's go," eased my tension. At the door, my mother-in-law greeted us warmly, her slender frame adorned in flawless, expensive attire, her hair impeccably styled. Inside, my father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their children awaited, their smiles a welcome relief. Over dinner, we announced our engagement, and Ethan's family, especially his mother and sister-in-law, expressed delight, calling me a cute girl, joining their ranks. Their warmth and lively conversation put me at ease. The family was affluent and accomplished. My father-in-law ran a successful package tour company, with my brother-in-law, an executive director, poised to inherit it. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law, both housewives, led elegant lives filled with dance classes and flower arranging, exuding confidence and poise. My father-in-law's kind demeanor and engaging topics kept me relaxed, and I felt grateful for their apparent acceptance. The harmony shattered during conversation about my career. When my father-in-law asked about my role at Ethan's company, I explained that, like Ethan, I was a regular employee hired after graduating from Harvard. The room fell silent. My father-in-law's praise felt genuine, and Ethan beamed, calling me hardworking and competent. Yet beneath their smiles, I sensed a shift, an undercurrent of envy from my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, whose harshness I would soon discover stemmed from their own insecurities. My journey to a prestigious U.S. university was paved with sacrifice. In high school, I studied relentlessly, often foregoing sleep to secure a bright future. My parents, despite their modest means, poured their hearts into supporting my education, working tirelessly to ensure I could attend a top-tier college. Determined to honor their efforts, I vowed to land a respectable job and repay their love. That ambition fueled my every step, leading me to a coveted position at a renowned corporation, where I met Ethan, my now husband. During our visit to Ethan's family, a seemingly pleasant dinner took a bitter turn. Caught in a lively exchange with Ethan and my father-in-law about my career, I noticed my mother-in-law and sister-in-law fall silent, their expressions darkening. Sensing tension, I sought to shift the conversation. Spotting a stunning arrangement of fresh roses and lilies on the table, I turned to my mother-in-law with a smile. That flower arrangement is breathtaking. Did you create it? I asked, hoping to bridge the gap. Her response was sharp, laced with disdain.
What?
As if a professional at a top-tier company would care about a housewife's time-wasting hobbies. Her sudden hostility stunned me. Moments earlier, she'd been warm and welcoming. Before I could respond, my sister-in-law chimed in, her tone dripping with sarcasm. From your perspective, Amy, with your fancy education, you probably think uneducated housewives like us only talk about flowers. Their words stung. I had meant to offend. My compliment was genuine. A lump formed in my throat, tears threatening to spill. Ethan quickly intervened. Hey, both of you, stop it. Amy doesn't look down on anyone, he said firmly. His defense warmed my heart, but I was too shaken to speak, bowing my head in silence. Glancing around, I saw my father-in-law, who'd been drinking since noon, passed out on the sofa, snoring loudly. My brother-in-law, disinterested, yawned and scrolled through his phone, intensifying the room's oppressive atmosphere. At Ethan's suggestion, maybe it's time we wrap this up, I felt a wave of relief, eager to escape. On the way back to the station, Ethan apologized. I'm sorry about today. My mom and sister have a lot of pride. They're sensitive about only having high school diplomas. He later explained that his mother had worked at a flower shop after high school, where his father, smitten by her beauty, pursued her relentlessly. Her striking looks drew customers daily, and after a whirlwind romance, they married. Even now, she held sway over her husband, who followed her every whim. Similarly, my sister-in-law, also beautiful, had reconnected with my brother-in-law, her high school classmate, at a reunion. His persistent wooing won her over, and he, too, deferred to her entirely. I couldn't fathom their insecurity. Both women were stunning, with devoted husbands. Yet, my education seemed to threaten them, leaving me gloomy and questioning our future. Despite the unease, both families had approved our marriage, so we pressed forward with wedding plans. Ethan's reassurance, "I'll always be on your side, Amy," kept me hopeful. After 6 months of meticulous preparation, the day before our wedding arrived. Suddenly, Ethan's phone rang. It was his mother. After a brief, heated exchange, he exclaimed, "What?
Why?
We can't just change it." The call abruptly ended. Stunned, he turned to me. "My parents say they're not coming to the wedding. They forgot they booked a trip." I was floored. "What do you mean?" I asked, panic rising. Ethan explained that his family claimed a scheduling conflict with a hot springs trip. The excuse was unthinkable. Missing their son's wedding for vacation? We called repeatedly, reaching his mother, father, and brother-in-law, but only dial tones answered. Desperate, we rushed to their mansion, but the house was dark, no cars in sight. "When I met your family," I said to Ethan, "I wondered if I upset your mother and sister." The atmosphere was so tense.
He sighed.
As I said, they're prideful. Smart women like you can intimidate them. My dad and brother-in-law just follow their lead to keep the peace. His words, heavy with resignation, left me speechless. The wedding proceeded without Ethan's family. My parents, shocked by their absence, tried to comfort Ethan. "It's not your fault," they said, though their faces betrayed concern. Whispers rippled through the reception, friends and colleagues asking why Ethan's parents weren't there. Even our boss, who gave a toast, inquired delicately. We brushed it off, claiming they were unwell, but the day, meant to be joyous, was mentally draining. Days later, we visited Ethan's family to report on the wedding. His mother greeted me casually. "Oh, Amy, it's been a while. How was the wedding?" "Sorry I couldn't make it. Busy with the trip. I meant to get you a souvenir, but forgot." Her lack of remorse cut deeply. Swallowing my hurt, I forced a smile. "I'm glad you enjoyed your trip." Ethan, however, was livid. "Canceling the day before? The whole family absent? That's not normal. If you didn't want to come, we shouldn't have invited you." His sister-in-law snapped, I'd have attended if Amy wasn't the bride. Confusion swirled in my mind. Before I could respond, his mother added, "Don't blame us. I wanted to see my son's big day, but Amy ruined it. I'm the victim here. I want an apology." Ethan retorted, "What? Amy did nothing wrong." His father, silent until now, exploded. "Enough. How dare you barge in on our day off to complain? Get out." His fury forced us out. As I slipped on my shoes, a sharp pain pierced my foot. A caterpillar was inside. Panicked, I hobbled outside, shaking it free. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law snickered maliciously. "Are you okay?" they mocked. Humiliated, I mumbled an apology and fled, their final words ringing in my ears. "Amy, don't contact us except for weddings or funerals." The next day, my body erupted in fiery red swelling, the caterpillar's sting causing unbearable itching. For 2 weeks, I couldn't sleep, tormented by the rash. Suspicion gnawed at me. I'd seen my brother-in-law near my shoes. Was it deliberate? A month later, Ethan was hospitalized with a suspected gastric ulcer, his stomach pains escalating. Despite their demand for distance, I called my mother-in-law, trembling as I dialed. "Ethan's been hospitalized," I said. "It might be a gastric ulcer." Her response was cold. "A gastric ulcer? Probably because you're overworking him. Don't call me for trivial matters. I'm busy." The call to my mother-in-law about Ethan's hospitalization ended in a chilling rebuke. "A trivial matter? Don't you care about Ethan?" I pleaded. Her voice was ice cold. "I don't want to hear your voice. You seem dull, so I'll be clear. I want nothing to do with you. Don't contact me again." Desperate, I said, "I'm worried about Ethan. I'll call him directly." Before I could, my brother-in-law snatched the phone. "You're too persistent. Read the room. I don't care if Ethan's hospitalized. It's annoying when you call." He hung up abruptly. The sharp click of the disconnected line snapped something inside me. The in-laws' cruel words, their dismissal of their own son's health, and their unilateral rejection of me were unforgivable. "You don't want me to contact you? Fine," I vowed. "I'll have nothing to do with this toxic family, no matter what." Ethan's tests revealed a mild gastric ulcer, treatable with medication. His health soon improved, and I shared the ordeal with him. With a resolute expression, he declared, "Let's cut ties with my family. Amy, you're the only one who matters. If they can't accept you, they're not my family, blood or not." His loyalty warmed my heart, solidifying our bond. A year later, Ethan left his job to pursue his dream of starting a software sales business, a goal he'd nurtured since before our marriage. Leveraging his corporate experience, he worked tirelessly, and though we were just beginning, I beamed with pride watching his vision take shape. Our joy deepened when, a year after the business launched, we welcomed a healthy baby boy. My parents, overjoyed, made the nearly 2-hour trek to visit often, filling our home with love. We didn't inform Ethan's family of our son's birth. Why bother? They'd shown no interest, and their absence brought relief. We hadn't heard from them since that fateful call, and the silence was a balm, freeing us from their peculiar hostility. Then, the world shifted. The new coronavirus swept globally, prompting our country to declare a state of emergency and urge people to stay home. News channels buzzed with COVID-19 updates, highlighting the tourism and restaurant industry's devastation. Briefly, I wondered about Ethan's father's package tour company, but quickly dismissed the thought with a wry smile, imagining its struggles. Meanwhile, Ethan's business thrived. Despite early financial wobbles, our income now surpassed his old salary, and life felt stable and fulfilling. Around this time, Ethan's phone began ringing incessantly with calls from his parents' home. He ignored them, determined to uphold our decision. Voicemails piled up, but he deleted them unheard. I urged him, "You don't have to worry about me. It's okay to talk to them. They're your family." But Ethan was steadfast. "Amy, you're my priority. If they can't accept you, I can't value them, parents or not." His words stirred guilt but also gratitude for his unwavering support. One day, a letter arrived from Ethan's family. Its blunt message read, Our business is on the verge of bankruptcy. We need to discuss financial matters urgently. The audacity of their demand, after cutting us off, was staggering. We ignored it, letting them face the consequences. Then my phone rang while I was at work. I missed the call but found a voicemail. It was Ethan's mother, reluctantly contacting me since Ethan wouldn't answer. Is this Amy's number? If Ethan keeps ignoring me, I'll come knocking. Tell him. Her nerve was infuriating, especially after her command to stay away. 2 days later, on a leisurely Saturday, we were enjoying a family day at home. After lunch, as we planned the afternoon, the doorbell rang. The monitor revealed all 4 in-laws standing outside. My feigned shock masked my anticipation. I'd expected this, having kept the voicemail secret from Ethan. He sighed heavily. Don't answer. They'll leave. But I insisted. They've come this far. Let's hear them out. It's almost pitiful. Ethan hesitated, then unlocked the door. Pitiful?
Hardly.
This was my calculated move to lure them in for a long overdue reckoning. As the door swung open, the 4 marched in with brazen entitlement. Ethan's mother snapped. How long does it take to open a door? Their rudeness was staggering. Spotting our son playing happily with his toys, she asked, Whose child is this? I replied coolly, He's our son. You told us not to contact you, so I didn't bother reporting it. You wouldn't care anyway. Her eyes narrowed and she muttered, You're so cheeky. A thrill coursed through me. This confrontation was just beginning. Turning to Ethan's father, I asked, So, what brings you here? A visit this sudden should have come with a heads up. Ethan's father glared at me, his voice sharp. Didn't you read the letter? I replied calmly, Do you mean the one from 2 days ago? His face reddened with anger. If you read it, you should have contacted us. It said we needed to hear from you urgently. Unfazed, I retorted, Oh, you wanted me to contact you? But you said you wanted nothing to do with us, so I didn't think it was necessary. Their stern faces, Ethan's parents, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law, were almost comical, and I struggled to suppress a laugh. Ethan, my steadfast husband, remained silent, his quiet support letting me take the lead. It was hard to believe he, so attuned to others, was raised by parents so devoid of empathy. Abruptly, my father-in-law's tone shifted to desperation. I beg you. I'm sorry for the past. This COVID situation has crushed us. Cancellations piling up, no new bookings. If this continues, my business will collapse. Can't you help with some money? His plea was hollow. I responded coolly, I see. That's tough. But no, I won't assist someone who cut us off. If you show genuine sincerity, I might reconsider. His face contorted with rage. What the hell, he bellowed, leaning forward menacingly. I stood my ground, fearless. You don't have to stay. Feel free to leave, I said. Defeated, he began pleading, I'm sorry, please help. He urged the others to apologize, and soon all 4 were begging. With a serene smile, I said, No, thank you. Enraged, my father-in-law slammed his hand on the table, shouting, You're getting high and mighty while I humble myself? He grabbed my collar, his aggression startling me. Before I could react, Ethan stepped in. Dad, don't touch Amy, his father sneered. You're siding with her when your parents are begging? Ethan's voice was firm. Amy's the most important person to me. I won't care for anyone who mistreats her, even family. If you can't apologize sincerely, leave. Infuriated, his father punched Ethan square in the face, snarling, Is that how you talk to your parents? As Ethan crumpled, his father kicked him mercilessly. I screamed, Stop it, and grabbed him from behind, but he threw me off. I stumbled, striking my head on the table's edge. Blood coated my hand when I touched the wound. The other 3 stood frozen, shocked. As my father-in-law ransacked the room, yelling, Where's the money? I staggered to the balcony, flung open the window, and shouted, Help! I'm being murdered! Within 5 minutes, police stormed in. My father-in-law, suddenly calm, smirked, sorry for the commotion. Just excited to see my grandson. My daughter-in-law's drunk, shouting nonsense. I countered, "Officer, arrest this man. He attacked my husband and me and ransacked our home for cash." He shouted, "I didn't do anything," and, in a fit, punched a hole in the wall. The police arrested him on the spot, taking the others for questioning. He was detained for weeks. Ethan's cheek bore a light cut and bruise, healing quickly. My head wound, however, required 10 stitches, a painful reminder of my plan's cost. Guilt gnawed at me for luring the in-laws, leading to Ethan's injury, but their demands for money ceased, perhaps out of regret. Later, I learned their initial praise of me sparked jealousy in my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, who instructed the men to shun me. The caterpillar in my shoe was likely my brother-in-law's doing, egged on by his wife. Jealousy's destructive power was staggering. As expected, the in-laws' business collapsed, their mansion seized. Now in their late 60s, Ethan's parents struggled to find work, confined to a modest apartment. My brother-in-law, who coasted at the company and squandered time at casinos, now toiled part-time at a convenience store, nearing 50 with no skills. My sister-in-law, a former housewife, floundered in job searches, her entitled attitude sabotaging every opportunity. She remained homebound, isolated. Soon after, my father retired, and Ethan proposed we live with my parents, mindful of their aging as I was an only child. I returned to work, my parents lovingly caring for our son during the day, easing my balance of motherhood and career. Surrounded by Ethan's unwavering devotion, my parents' warmth, and our son's radiant joy, I cherish this blissful life, vowing never to take it for granted. Please feel free to comment below if you like this. Remember to like and subscribe for more.